Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So last week in the verse 120, we are 123 of the Amrutanubhav, 7th chapter, Ajnana Khandana. We saw two thoughts. One was two ways of looking, two arguments. One was the Ajatavad. That was what we did in meditation today. We looked at it. And the second was Adaro Aad, which we discussed last week. Adaro Aad was that removal of the superimposition, and removal of the superimposition is recognizing superimposition as superimposition. Story over. And now the teacher in the next 124th verse takes the Drishti Srishtivad, and this thought is explained in the next 5 OVs. And Drishti, seeing, Srishti, world, seer and seen argument. Drishyachya Srishti Dithi Vari Dithi Uthiliya Talavati Chinmatrachi. He says there continues to be an upsurge of knower known duality, and yet the non-dual pure undivided consciousness continues to be the same. Look at your experience. Continuous subject-object bubbles are coming in your mind. Subject-object bubble is one thought. Knower known, experience experienced, subject-object, aham idam, seer seen, hearer heard. Then only one thought is created. And it's going on. It's going on faster in the dream, and it's going on a little bit slower in the waking. And if you're dreaming in the waking, then it goes fast. So here he says, Drishyachya Srishti Dithi Vari Dithi. It keeps coming one after the other. Dithi Vari Dithi. One after the other. And what is this knower known, seer seen, experience experienced? This is the duality. Wherever there is aham and idam, that is the duality. But coming to the next part of the OV, Uthiliya Talavati. Talavati is, if you want to say, this continuous river of seer seen is going on, one after the other wave is going on. And Uthaliya Talavati. Talavati is, I think, Talavati means the bank. And someone is watching from the banks, and the banks don't change. The river changes, but the banks don't change. Bank remains constant. And what is that bank? That bank is the Chinmatrachi. Chinmatrachi means there is some constant principle. That constant principle is the consciousness. And what is this consciousness? The unchanging consciousness, the undivided consciousness. Then what was known and seer and seen? They were divided consciousness. What are waves? Divided water. What is water? Undivided water. Put it that way. What are ornaments? Divided gold. What is gold? Undivided gold. So, where are you sitting in yourself? Are you sitting in yourself as the seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, thinker, knower, experiencer, waker, dreamer, sleeper? Then you are going to get what you are getting all your life. Then what has to be done? Recognize that you are the, because this recognition, yes, but you have to ask the pertinent question. Who knows that these roles are coming and going? Who knows the seer came and went? Who knows the hearer came and went? Who knows that all aham idam interactions came and went? In other words, who knows that the thoughts came and went or are going, coming and going? Who knows the waker with the waking world, dreamer with the dream world, sleeper with the sleep, absence of both are coming and going? Answer can never be outside. No, you know it, I don't know. It can never be. It will be always, yeah, I know. How do you know it? No, I just know it. There is no process for it. So, whether you sit as the undivided consciousness, or you accept yourself as the changing consciousness, and changing consciousness will be the seer, hearer, toucher, thinker, etc., etc. So with that, we'll see Swamiji's commentary. When the consciousness manifests in the form of two aspects, seer and seen, it is called mind. Divided consciousness. Can consciousness be divided? Can consciousness be divided? I'm asking.
No, Swami.
No. But it appears to be divided, isn't it? I am the waker, this is the waking world. It appears to be separate, and I feel that I am in the world. It appears I am the father, I am the husband, I am the son, divided personalities. It appears that way. The roles of each one are different, totally different. And when we lost in these imaginary roles, we forget the man. And that's when suffering begins. When consciousness manifests in the form of the two aspects, seer and seen, it is called mind. So, it is a divisionless division. Just like that one Paramatma, as if appeared as Ishwar and Prakriti, it was a divisionless division, because that Paramatma by nature is Purnamada Purnamidam. Nothing has happened, yet everything is happening. This is the fun part. The total waters of the ocean remain ocean. They are continuously continuously appearing and disappearing as the waves. And yet, nothing has happened to the ocean. Ocean remains as ocean. If you take the total waters, continuously the water is evaporating. Continuously the rivers are pouring into the waters of the water as such. The mass of water. Don't divide it into ocean also. But actually nothing has happened. Water remains as water. whether it is in vapor form or it is in the river form, or it is, and when it merges, it is a mergingless merging of from water's point of view. But when our attention is on the division, when our attention is on the manifestation of consciousness, that undivided consciousness, we have seen Jnaneshwar Maharaj, we can't call it anything. We can't call it Satchidanand also. But when it manifests, yada yada hi dharmasya abhyutthanam, he appears. Tadatmanam srajamyaham. So then that infinite consciousness, when it takes a special form, it is called as Ram, Krishna, etc., etc. So, when consciousness manifests in the form of two aspects, what are the two aspects? Subject and object, seer and seen. It is called as mind. Mind without subject and object, or seer and seen, drashta, drishya, is called as undivided consciousness. Now tell me, where do you experience undivided consciousness?
Deep sleep.
In samadhi.
In samadhi, in deep sleep. In deep sleep also, where there is no division of consciousness, you are one with your essential nature. But you haven't developed the knack of catching it, of being the undivided consciousness. You feel sleep is more important than remaining awake. What to do? Committing sabotage every night. Every thought arises in the mind like a wave on the ocean, like a throb or sphurna on the or manifestation of the potentiality in the pure consciousness. So, every thought arises in the mind like a wave on the ocean. Is the thought separate from the ocean? No. Is the thought made up of the same material of which the motion is made? Yes. Can the thought appear independent of the ocean? No. Is the ocean dependent on the thought? No. Ocean is unaffected by the appearance or disappearance of thought. Look at all different angles. This is our mind. And how are we behaving? How are we behaving?
Like waves.
Talk about yourself.
Not you, Swamiji.
Yeah. So, how do we behave? Touch me not for everything. Oh, why don't you eat? No, you have to eat. No. So, are we considering ourselves to be the subject with reference to object? In other words, if we take this, are we considering ourselves to be the seer with reference to seen? Or are we taking ourselves to be the consciousness in which the waves of seer and seen, subject and object are coming and going? It's only disposition issue. Sit with this, you will vanish. As a manifestation, you will vanish. You will land back into the original, pure consciousness. Because you are always that. Where is your attention? In somewhere we said, no, Gaunatma, Mithyatma and Mukhyatma. Similar thought. Gaunatma was virtual consciousness. Mithyatma was illusory consciousness, illusory I. So first was virtual I, then was illusory I. Virtual I was father, mother, daughter, sister, seer, seer, hearer, waker, dreamer, etc., etc. Then illusory I am the body, with reference to the body. And who are you? Independent of the body. So which I do you accept yourself as? So here, when we say every thought arises in the mind like a wave on the ocean, are we aware? Yeah, I understand. Understanding is first thing. But are you on your seat of meditation being the witness of the thoughts coming and going? When you are not, this is difficult, then do japa. Chant the mantra. It will bring you to this point. Or either you can catch the thought, or it can be like every thought arises like a throb or sphurna or manifestation of the potentiality in the pure consciousness. When you wean away from all the thoughts, then all the thoughts go back to the source in the sense to one point, and that appears as a throb in your whole system. Just like the entire blood in your body is, how do you know the blood is there? Because there is one heartbeat, isn't it? Yeah. So your attention goes to the duk duk, duk duk, duk duk. Similarly, when this is one pumping of the heart, this throb is something different. The throb is manifestation, unmanifestation. Here also, heartbeat is also manifestation, unmanifestation, no doubt, but is only one aspect of it. You are not experiencing that at gross level, subtle level, causal level. For that little bit, quietness of your mind is required. Disengagement with your body is required. Going deeper into yourself is required. Bringing about quietness is required. Then the throb becomes available. Many of you must have sometimes or the other experienced. The heart is beating. My heart is beating and is retreating. Some movie song. But when you are doing japa, or sometimes when you are sitting in meditation, you would be experiencing some spandan on your spine, or behind your navel, or at your coccyx, or at your heart chakra, or at your throat chakra, or sometimes there is a spandan, flux, a throb going on in your third eye. That throb is different to your heartbeat. We are talking about that throb. By catching that throb, you can go back to the source. And that throb is like it goes through the chakra. When you come to the Paravani, Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, from the Para, that throb becomes available at the Nabhi, at the navel, and it travels through the six chakras to reach the seventh one and merges into the infinite consciousness. See, this is very physical explanation. Okay, all we have to do, and this may happen, you may experience it or you may not experience it. It does not matter if your attention is on recognition that every thought arises in the mind like a wave on the consciousness. You can recognize that if your attention is not on the thought but on the consciousness, and in the periphery somewhere you become aware of, or you witness the thought coming and going. Just like when you are listening to me, some other thoughts are coming and going, but you are not interested in those thoughts, or you park them aside and say, oh, I'll visit it later, because you are focused here. Same thing in yourself. So either you can hold on to that throb, or you can take the position of the all-encompassing consciousness, in which the thought are appearing and disappearing. That appearance and disappearance of the thought itself is a throb. The thought has two aspects. One is the content of the object, the idam vritti, and along with this, the knower, the aham vritti, is also born. So whenever there is a thought cannot be without these two aspects, the aham and the idam, the subject and the object. That subject and the object itself is being called as drashta drishya. It itself is called as the waker and waking world, the scene, the seer and the seen, the hearer and the heard. Wherever there is ER, that is the aham. So we have done this before, but we are visiting. Swamiji is explaining it again. With each thought, a new trio of knower known knowledge is born and dies. Now, when this sentence, when it does not go deep into our mind and take root, till then we will be lost in being someone, becoming someone, not being, becoming someone. Every thought is a mixture of the subject, object, and the instrument of knowledge. And then the second thought will come, again, the subject, object, instrument of knowledge. Then another thought will come, subject, object, instrument of knowledge. Just like the waking world has come, the subject is the waker, the object is the waking world, and the instrument of knowledge is this body and mind. Then the dream comes. In the dream, the subject is the dreamer, the object is the dream world, and the instrument of knowledge is the subtle body. Similarly, the wife comes, the subject is the husband, the husband, the object is the wife, and the instrument of knowledge is the mind and senses. And this way it goes on, and it's going on. Who created ho raha hai yaar? It's happening. You did not create the waking and the dream. It is happening. You did not create the seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting. It's happening. You did not create the 5 elements. They are happening. I'm talking from this point. If you go, suddenly don't go, no. Last time you said consciousness is the source of everything. How come you are taking opposite? We'll keep taking opposite positions till you don't get totally confused and stop thinking. So with each, so now what is the point here? First was every thought has the aspect of subject and object and instrument of knowledge, and with each thought the trio, the triputi, is born again and again and again and again. So if I said 3 times again and again, then 3 times the Triputi was born. A tree of knower, known knowledge is born and it dies. Thus, each thought is independent of the next and yet connected like beads on a string. So what is the connection, understanding here? Every thought is independent of the other. And what do we do? Out of our ignorance? You said that last time, I have not forgotten, and I'll make you pay back for what you said last time. We have connected. But that event is over. That day is over. That moment is over. That person has also gone. Because already a few days have passed. You are already grown, hopefully. But we hold on. We are latched on to the past thought. This latching on then creates the ego. Anyway, we'll come to that. Thus, each thought is independent of the next and yet connected like a bead on a string. So each thought is coming and going. Are all the waves connected by something? I'm asking.
The water itself?
Yes. So all the waves are connected to each other by water. Water is the common denominator which is passing through every wave, and every wave is nothing but water. For this, another example in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is given, Sutre Manigana Iva, by Bhagwan Krishna, that there are golden beads and the golden beads are strung in the golden string. And there the Lord says, I am the gold. The whole world is the golden beads, strung in me the golden string. So can we see the bead of waking world and waking experience, one bead? Dreamer, dream world and dream experience, one bead? Absence of 3, the sleep, one bead? Are they strung somewhere? They're strung in you, the consciousness. Without you, these 3 cannot express. And where are we lost? Only in the waking. And in the waking, where are we lost? Not as the waker. Even if you come to the waker, you will become the witness of the waking world. But we don't even do that. We get lost in the roles that the waker takes with reference to the objects in the world. This is our pathetic condition. First, we live only 1/3 of our experience of life, only waking, and in that waking, we don't be the waker, we again dilute ourselves into something with whatever object is coming, and then cry, why me, why me, why me? Lage raho aur kya? Thus so recognition, first thing, each thought is independent of the next and yet connected like beads on a string. All the thought beads, whether joyful or not so joyful, are supported by one substratum, the pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness I am. अब पूरा thought ले लो. Consciousness itself appears as the subject and object. Every thought arises on the consciousness, in the consciousness. Every thought is nothing but has 3 aspects, the subject, the object, and the instrument of knowledge. Every thought is independent of the next thought. All the thoughts are strung in a bead. strung as the beads on a string, that string being the common denominator, and that common denominator is the pure consciousness that I am. Don't look at it only objectively. Without you, the pure consciousness, right now, the division of consciousness as thoughts cannot happen. The appearance of one thought after the other thought cannot happen without the consciousness. Correct? Where are you sitting? In the object? In the instrument? In the subject? Or in the imaginary continuity of the subject, object, and instrument of knowledge? Imaginary continuity of thought called I. Are you sitting in that? Or are you sitting in the consciousness, pure consciousness, which alone, as if, is appearing as all these thoughts, and in you the appearance, maintenance, and destructions of thoughts is taking place? Have we slowed down enough to see that every thought is appearing in me, maintained in me, and goes back to me? You can't say me, but in the consciousness that I am. Have we slowed down enough to have a direct experience of this? This can be done. You do a little bit of japa, by the time you come to Vaikhari Madhyama, by the time you come to Pashyanti or a peak of Madhyama, you will experience this. नहीं Swamiji, I am like Arjuna. I only like hearing, I don't like practicing. फिर लगे रहो. अपनी औकात पहचान लो. I want to be like Arjuna. I am my ideal is Arjuna. But then be like him. Be alert like him. Be vigilant like him.
Because of that, maybe his knowledge was also temporary.
Correct.
Yeah. Later on,
That was because of his job, why he is born. He is born for a purpose. He was not born for realization. He was not born for realization. Ramchandra ji was born for a different purpose. Yudhishthir was born for a different. Every person has a different purpose. Every rishi has a different purpose.
Arjuna was the instrument to give Gita for us.
Yeah. And that also, Lord only created the situation. He could not, he is stupid. He can't do anything. If he had left to him, he would have, I don't know, I don't want to fight. When we become stupid, this is too much, consciousness becoming subject and object and instrument of knowledge. Every thought has these three. Every thought is separate to every thought, and there is a continuous substratum between all the thoughts. And that substratum, and I please tell simply, how more simply can we tell? Thus, each thought is independent of the next and yet connected like beads on a string. All the thought beads. And what are the thought beads? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swarupa. All these are thoughts. Satchidananda is a thought. Love, compassion, non-violence, truthfulness, all these are also thoughts. So, good thoughts and bad thoughts are supported by one substratum, the pure consciousness. all thoughts, good or bad or ugly, tamasic, rajasic or sattvic, thoughts of micro or macro, thoughts of manifest or unmanifest, thoughts of Ishwar or Prakriti, thoughts of absolute or the manifestation, are supported by one substratum, the pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness, I am. You start thinking like this from the absolute point. You can't take that position, but you have to keep attempting it. Somewhere along the way, you will vanish. And by taking this position of the absolute, the pure consciousness, what is told here in the verses, you start seeing how it is. Is it true or is it someone else's imagination? Or what is being told by the teacher? Is it actually happening? Is it my experience? Or am I just blindly believing it? Inquire. See if it is your direct experience. See if every thought has the three aspects: subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. See if every thought is independent of each other and yet connected. See if this various thoughts are, if they are connected, what are they connected by? Answer will never be outside of you. If we make a genuine inquiry, the answer will never be outside of you. And as you keep refining, in that refinement somewhere, the penny will drop. So also there is a new trio of the waker, waking experience and the waking world with each experience. So also in the case of the dream state, but all these trios, although independent, are supported by the same pure consciousness. So first the teacher took us to the micro, the thought, then he took us to the macro, all thoughts in the waking and all thoughts in the dream. So suddenly from the micro, one thought, we went to the macro, the waking. Waking experience is also a thought, which is which has three aspects: the waker, the waking world, and the waking instruments, the body, breath, mind, intellect. And so also in the dream. Just like we say, we are the micro individual consciousness and there is total consciousness. So individual thought, and what is it a part of? The total thought. And what is the total thought? The waker, waking world and waking experience. देखो, अब ये कैच करो यार, रोज ही तो चल रहा है. Every day it is happening. We want to think about, oh, I want to have lunch, I want to make tea, I want to do this, I want to think of this instead of thinking all these things. This is worthy. Have you ever thought that thought is the micro and the waker waking experience is the macro? Have you ever thought that way? We only look at the relativity. Oh, manifestation is samashti and vyashti. Vyashti is the microcosm and samashti is the macrocosm. Samashti is the individual consciousness, samashti is the total consciousness. Mechanically, like a parrot, we are going through. Here also it's not written that. I'm bringing it out, or it's coming out. I'm not even doing that. I'm also thrilled. That thought is the micro, waker waking experience, and the waking world is the macro. And where are we lost? So all these trios, waking world and waking experience, dreamer, dream world and dream experience, all these, every day they appear. Every day they appear. But their every day's waker is independent of every other waker. But how do we live? That the yesterday's waker is today's waker is going to be tomorrow's waker. Yesterday's dreamer is today's dreamer is tomorrow's dreamer. Does it happen? Your experience says no, yesterday was a different dream. Dreamer is the same, but experience was, the dream world was different. There also I continue. Imagine the continuity. Even though there is no data of continuity, all idam is changing in the dream. Yesterday's dream was different, today's dream was different, tomorrow's dream will be different. But that continuity of the consciousness I superimpose on the dream world. Same way in the waking also. The continuity of the pure consciousness that I essentially am, I superimpose it on the changing thoughts. Why? Because I gave them value. Why did I give value to the changing thoughts? Because I forgot to be the pure consciousness. Attention has to go somewhere. When air is exhaled, where does it go? When it is inhaled, where does it come from? At that point, one experiences a constant throb at the level of each cell. This is only data for you right now, unless you don't catch the point where the in-breath becomes the out-breath or the out-breath becomes the in-breath. Those who have practiced it even little bit and have come to that point, not only they will experience the throb in their body or at every, the entire body at the cellular level is throbbing, not at the heartbeat level, I'm telling. And not only it doesn't stop there, as it expands, with every breath, the entire universe is throbbing along with you. You can experience that. Just like you can see a wave coming and going. That is an individual wave appearing and disappearing, expressing and unexpressing, manifesting and unmanifesting. Manifestation and manifestation is a throb. Then little bit bigger than that, a tide appears and manifests and unmanifests, isn't it? It is a bit more longer period of time. Few times a day, 2 times a day, the high tide comes, 2 times a day, the low tide comes. But when you look at the ocean, there is another movement. The whole ocean is as if heaving and then going down. Then again coming up, then again going down. Just like that wave or like that tide, the entire ocean is going up and down as if it is breathing. That's exactly how you feel when you catch this point of breath with the whole universe. The whole universe is the flux that is going on. When you have caught the flux within you, when you have caught the throb within you, that throb expands and encompasses the whole universe. The throb within you and the throb of the universe become one. This is being in tune with nature. And just like that ocean was heaving, then here, with every heave of your breath, the entire universe as if is expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting. And you can catch that. What will happen if I do this?
Catch it.
What will it happen? It's a good game. Yeah, make it a game. Only then you will be able to catch it. Then the question will come, who's watching? Then you will go back to the source. Now from micro and macro, micro throb, macro throb, you have gone beyond both. Thus, one can notice two phenomena. One is the manifestation of consciousness without knowledge, such as the involuntary psychological, physiological functions. And the second is the manifestation of consciousness with knowledge. Okay, two things here. We are going in a different direction. Swamiji is taking us. One can notice two phenomena. One is the manifestation of consciousness without knowledge. And what is that?
All our body.
All the body functions going on. Eye blinking and
Breath going out,
yes, all those things.
something.
And the other is, and the second is the manifestation of consciousness with knowledge. I am not making the breath come in and go, but I know breath is coming and going. That is knowledge. I am not making the heart beat. That is a physiological function, but I know that the heart is beating. So knowledge is also happening and physiological function is also happening. So these are the two phenomena that are constantly going on. It goes on continuously with reference to the knowingness that is in us. So after one knowledge, another is born. One throb arises in the form of known knowledge trio and disappears. It is rejected. Then the next trio is born, stays for a brief moment and is also rejected, and so on. There is a continuous eruption of knowledge waves. Continuously. You don't say, I am seeing, and no. If I say I am seeing or I am hearing, it's the same thing. It is not. Eyes are seeing, and some intelligence, the knowingness is there that the knowingness of seeing is taking place. Knowingness of hearing is taking place. Knowingness and this way about everything, about every thought. See, we are only talking about our own experience. A doctor dissects the body. We are dissecting our mind. The doctor dissects the brain. We are going beyond that. They haven't reached this point yet. This is what you got by being born in India. Sanatan Dharma takes you to this point. The Western mind can't even imagine what we are talking right now. They are lost in stock market, property going up and down. Is there a crash coming? Going to the moon, going to the sun. Or how many galaxies are there? How many universes are there? Is there a quark and a negative quark? What we are talking about is far, far, far refined than all this. But the substratum, the pure consciousness, did we do it? But the substratum, the pure consciousness, is only one as ever. Pure consciousness never becomes many. It is always one. It does not break. It does not break. But we see water breaking as waves. That's your problem. It's not water's problem. Water says, I am the water. I am one, but I am father also, mother also, daughter also, sister also, this also, that also. If you take those roles, you have lost the plot. If you be the one, then everything will be fine. But then how will father, mother, daughter, sister appear? They will appear, don't worry about it. You cannot stop them from not appearing. Question is, are you becoming that? Let others call you father, father consciousness. Others call you mother, mother consciousness. You are focused on being the consciousness. You are not focused on what other people are calling you. The mirror is not focused on who's coming in front of it. Whoever comes in front of it, he'll reflect that back. So if the wife calls, the husband will reply. If the child calls, the father will reply. You be the consciousness. The mind will do its job. But no, I have to be in control. I have to do it. But the substratum, the pure consciousness, is only one, always. It never becomes many. It never bifurcates into multiplicity or duality also. It never becomes the subject and the object. Pure consciousness always remains pure consciousness, one without a second, homogeneous consciousness. Now, you are that, pure consciousness, remember. Now the next line. When the attention is on the waves, what is the waves? On the thought waves, one talks of manyness. So where is our attention? On the thoughts or on the being the pure consciousness? But from the point of view of the ocean, waves, their presence or absence have no meaning. So even if we take the position from the water's point of view, there is no meaning of ocean or waves. From the ocean's point of view, there is no meaning of all the waves because I alone am. When I alone am, will I call? Do I keep talking about the left hand, right hand, left leg, right leg, head, eyes? Take all these different names, but do I talk about them as something separate from me? Inside right hand, I don't say it, but the right hand is me, left hand is me, eyes are me. I don't say that. It's a foregone conclusion. I don't have to say it. Similarly, the ocean doesn't have to say it. It may talk to, wave number 1, wave number 3, but everything is the ocean only. Every cell in your body is the body only. Every limb, every function, everything inside the body is your body only. You don't feel that it is separate. On the from the point of view of ocean or waves, Their presence or absence have no meaning because ocean is complete. You have to take ocean as the total consciousness and water as the absolute consciousness. So even if we take it from the ocean's point of view, just for explanation's sake, it is the material cause, because we cannot say absolute is the material cause and the efficient cause. Absolute doesn't do anything, it is always absolute. Creation comes about only when Ishvara Prakriti is there. So what is that? The potential is the ocean and the potentiality is the waves. But what is the experience of the ocean? It is everything is the self alone. He doesn't see them as separate from himself. On the substratum of consciousness, the waves are expressing in two ways. One is the sentiency and the other the knower, known, knowledge trio. Goes word by word. On the substratum of consciousness, the waves are expressing in two ways. On the ocean of consciousness, the thoughts are expressing in two ways. And what is that happening in the what are the two ways? First, we understand what is second one you understand because you are easy to understand. What is that? The trio of knower, known, knowledge. Seer, seen, seeing, hearer, heard, hearing, knower, known, knowing, etc. Each thought after the other thought. This is happening, isn't it? What is the rule? What do we put under the category? That which comes and goes? That which comes and goes comes under the category of?
Not consciousness, unreal.
Another word for it?
Mithya.
Another word for it? Inert. Okay? Inert. Inert means whatever you said. Mithya, yes, one point, but not consciousness. Okay? It has got no knowledge of its own. It has got no light of its own. So, a thought wave is inert in nature. But what is the first aspect? Sentiency. Someone is knowing it. In some light is illuminating that thought.
Can you call it life?
Nah. You can call it. I'm not saying you. She's saying, can you call it life? We can call, but we are not going to call it life. Life is a far stretched, encompassing everything. We are dissecting here. So we cannot say life is the light in which the thought appears. No.
No, I was thinking life means sentiency.
Sentiency means
which has got a life of its own.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it is the thought is inert. It does not have its own independent existence, even though looking independent. But you need a light by which to see it. It can only appear in the presence of the light. It only can appear in the presence of, if you can want to use the word life, but again, So, there is movement, there is knowledge of that appearance of the thought and the disappearance of the thought, isn't it? So, these are the two aspects that we have seen. Once this trio gets strengthened, then the identification with the Vijnanmaya Kosh becomes firm. What is the strengthening of the trio?
Giving importance.
Importance and fast movement. The faster it goes, the stronger what you call the more concretized the personality becomes, the more the continuity seems to be accepted. The slower it is, we can see that each thought is separate. Faster it is, we think it is the same I which is going on around and round and round with every idam, with every object. So where is this conclusion taking place? It is taking place in the Vijnanamaya Kosh. You check what do you do when you are a child? Mummy will say, what you teach? Nose. Show me where is your nose. And what does the child do? The child doesn't touch their nose. He touches the mother's nose. Nose is only on the mother's nose, face, not on there. And then slowly the training begins, and as the connections begin, then this is my nose, this is my eye, this is my head, this is my heart. But where did it begin from? Objective, on the mother's face. And slowly the sense of I is getting built up in the child. It's not born with that. If you do the japa, all this that is told, it will start, you will go back how it started. Once the trio gets strengthened, then the identification with the Vijnanamaya Kosh becomes firm. So even if japa, if I am doing japa, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, if I do it mechanically, I meditate every day, it becomes another arrogance. Because I am doing only if I think I am this is how you became husband and wife. You accepted, I am the husband, I am the husband, I am the husband, I am the husband. Again and again repetition, start behaving funnily. You are the man. Same thing, go back one step. I am the man, I am the man, I am the man, I am the man. We start behaving as a particular person with hands, legs, etc., etc. Only as this body. But what is behind this body? Infinite consciousness. How does Shirdi Sai Baba behave? He appears anywhere, anytime, at any given moment. Because he doesn't consider himself to be only this body. This is what the strengthening of the thought and identification comes about. We are doing japa with bhav, with the focus on the pure consciousness, with the thought that reminds us of the pure consciousness, to slow this all down, to weaken these thoughts. We are chanting the mantra so that we weaken the thought of our individuality, which has precipitated that I am the man, I am this body, I am the husband, wife, etc., etc., to I am the Aham Brahmasmi, or I chant Om and I go in that direction. I want to dilute that which I am not, and I am trying to remember that which will take me to who I actually am. And while doing all this, I am always that which I always am. So it's only undoing of the mind. And until the mind is not undone, that means the thoughts are not undone, till then, what you already are, even at this moment, it will not become crystal clear. Why? Because of this. Once this trio gets strengthened, then the identification with the Vijnanamaya Kosh. And what is the identification with the Vijnanamaya Kosh? At a very big scale, waker, dreamer, sleeper, including meditator. becomes firm. Identification with the individuality is too strong, and such individuals are unable to drop the world, to forget and forgive. I've already talked about this. We insist, duragraha, we insist. Don't go with the flow. We insist we are only this body. We insist we are the mother only of these two kids, not of the whole world. We insist we were born. We insist that this world was there before I came into existence. We insist that this world will continue after this body drops. These are all wrong conclusions, my dear. This is insistence. This is individuality, concretization of individuality with wrong conclusions in life. And that is why it is paramount that we think such thoughts so that the mind finds a new track to think rather than same old track. Same old track of the same movie, the same songs, the same children, the same childhood of the children, same when I was young, same about when we were in school, same, everything, same. Just repeating. What happens with repetition? Even more concretization. If at all you want to think of such thoughts, take your japa, let it be your pastime all the time. If you want to think, if someone reminds you of something in the past, get away, go to the toilet, chant your mantra, come back. By that time he has forgotten. But for that, we have to be attentive. Where do we want to get, we want our mind to be engaged in. Now don't start doing it. If you can do it straight away from this moment onwards, good, and face the consequences. And if you can't face the consequences, getting too difficult, then slow down a little bit. हाँ सब ठीक हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. Then चलो यार topic, let's change the topic. If he doesn't change the topic or she doesn't change the topic, I have to go somewhere. I got an appointment. Someone is coming to meet me. Swamiji, that's what you do every time. Yes, I do that. I'm shameless. Why should I listen to your blabber all the time? अब मैं कमरे में बैठ के मैं जप करते बैठूंगा, धूप सेकूंगा. Don't you have responsibility towards the world? I didn't create it. It's yours. You handle your world. You learn to undo your mind. That's the only name of the game. Undo the mind. Consciously. It's undoing every night when you go to sleep, but unconsciously. You want to do it consciously. And this is the process. First, why we are giving you all this? Just like why does Vivek Chudamani and different Panchadashi, they explain how the world came. The world is made up of one reality became Ishwar and Prakriti. That Prakriti became Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Then with Sattva is the Brahmaji and the Saraswati and so on and so forth. Then from the Tamas came the 5 elements, and the 5 elements mixed together to create the world, and the subtle aspect of the 5 elements went to make the senses, etc., etc. Wow, fascinating. But what does the scripture say? All this never happened. Then why was it told? Just so that your itch to know the world is satisfied. And where did that itch lead to? That even though all this has happened, actually nothing has happened. You are seeing the waves, but actually nothing has happened. It's always water. You are seeing thoughts, actually nothing has happened. It's always pure consciousness. Keep attaching, connecting everything. This is too much. So individuality is too strong, and such individuals are unable to drop the world. So the stronger the individuality, difficult to, I already explained. I was born, world was there. I will die, the world will be there. And they are unable to forget and forgive. Who is a sadhu? This is the main quality of a sadhu, to forget and forgive. Kshama bhav. Not only himself, first he practices with himself. He forgives himself for all the wrongs that he has done in life. How does he forgive himself? By forgetting it. So we don't remember the past. Simple as that. When you practice it in your life, it will start happening in the outside world also. See? Otherwise, brothers not talking for decades, son and mother not talking for decades. I have seen, I've been witness to that. I was in Kailash, someone called me, Swamiji, you told me to go back to my mother, and she's getting old, and you said that please, before she goes away, you should, patch up. And I have come, and my mother wants to talk to you. I'm in Kailash. By chance, my phone was on. And they were both crying. 25 years they did not talk to each other. 25 years. How much ego? Both. Mom we can understand. But the son also?
No, it's hard to understand the mom. How can mom...
No, you're talking from your point of view. It's both ways. It's only sign of concretized individuality. It is not going to help anyone. They have too much expectations from the world. What is the expectation? Till she doesn't talk to me, I will not talk. And she's saying, till he doesn't, I gave birth to him. This fellow I'm elder to him. If he doesn't talk to me, why should I talk? I don't need anyone. I studied Vedanta. See? Where it is not to be applied, they apply it there. But we all come across, as a GP, you must have come across many patients like that. When we visit so many families, we come across so many people. This fellow has not talked, or that fellow has not talked. And they talk about it with great pride, He's so strong in his commitment. Not to talk means he will not talk. It's not a good thing.
Maybe there is not necessary.
Too much will is not good thing. Too much will is not good thing. If you want to use your will, use it to dissolve your mind. If it is to establish your individuality, we are going the wrong way. Will be there, but in which direction are we using it? We have a will. You all have a will. It expresses as choice. You all have a choice to come to the satsang or continue sleeping in the bed. Similarly, you all have a choice to establish and concretize the individuality by not forgiving and forgetting, or the opposite way. Forgive and forget and dissolve yourself. I am a nobody. Story over.
So, Swami, you believe in free will then?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. Eventually it is what? Free will.
It's all his wish.
Of course. But right now, who is making decision? Who is asking the question? Is it his will?
Yeah, his will.
From inside you have that bhava.
Yes.
But who asked the question? If I argue with you a little bit more, you will करके अंदर चले जाओगे. And his will. Come to reality. Just think, wishing it is not good. When it is his will, then it is in every aspect. Not only where we choose it to be. They have too much expectations of the world. So one thing is individuality. How does it get concretized? One is no forgetting and forgiving, and the second is too much expectations. Another way of putting it, too much guilt and regrets, and too much expectations, which lead to anxiousness. This really solidifies the individuality. So have no expectations from anyone. Leave it to the Lord. That bhav should be there inside. Because whatever is happening is, you are not creating thoughts, they are happening. But till you feel that you are thinking, then you are thinking, then you have to, then what should I do if I am thinking? Think in such a way that they dissolve rather than they become more concretized. So they have too much expectations from the world, and all this results in bondage to the wakerhood. This is all happening in the waking and dream. Anyway, you wake up every morning from the dream and you give it zero value. But in waking, we do not give it zero value. Why? Because yesterday also the same body, today also the same body, yesterday also the same house, today also the same house. We are continuing yesterday's waking into today's waking. All the parameters, all the data. And today's waking, we'll take it into tomorrow's. As if it is continuous. As if it is continuous. That's your experience, isn't it? On a daily basis, we are thinking that yesterday also I was in the same house, today also I'm in the same house, tomorrow also I'm in the same house. I think life is continuous. Arre? How can objects be continuous? We just now told you how do you know that house is in the same? Yesterday it was the house, it was a thought. Today is the house, it was a thought. Tomorrow is the house, it is a thought. What did we say? Thoughts are discontinuous. And you have created a continuity among them. And living in a fool's world. Imaginary world. This, if you are not understanding, it's okay. Because mind has not slowed down yet. Till mind does not slow down, what is being told here will not become clear. Basic prerequisite here is ekagra chit, a quietened mind, a content mind is the basic requirement here. In that quiet mind, you are able to see that one thought is separate from the other thought. One breath is separate from the other breath. Everything has to slow down. Till it is going too fast, nothing. On the ocean, chin matra of caution. So on the ocean of consciousness, millions of waking, dream, deep sleep experiences are born. But I am only one. How can millions of them are coming and going? Of all the beings, waking, dream and deep sleep. And how many waking, dream and deep sleep have you had in your own life till today? Past, present, future. How many you are still going to have? And not only about you, for everyone. Oh my God. Where is all this happening? On the ocean of consciousness. What is that ocean of consciousness? You. And when we say waking, dream and deep sleep experiences are coming, that is your mind. Ocean of consciousness will be the mind, because mind is nothing but consciousness. Consciousness with thoughts is called mind. Mind without thoughts, even if it is of waking thought or dream thought or sleep thought, then it is pure consciousness. Just as it is impossible to locate the position of a wave with reference to time and space, so is it impossible to locate any individuality with reference to time and space. Speaking from the position of the wave, Lord Krishna says, "You and I have taken many births, Arjuna. The only difference is I know all of them and you as a wave know none." So, question is, are we wearing the shoes of Krishna or are we wearing the shoes of Arjuna? Are we sitting in the consciousness as consciousness, or are we sitting in the thought? As the I? Then it will lead to individuality. Where are we? Because when we try to locate this consciousness, we will not find ourselves anywhere. We will not find ourselves in the body, we will not find ourselves in the mind, we will not find ourselves in the thought, we will not find ourselves in the intellect, we will not even find ourselves in the witness. Because they are all referential existences. We are the non-referential being. And when we say we are the non-referential being, because infinite consciousness, then how can space, time and objectivity have an impact on the pure consciousness that I am? Because that is what you are essentially. Then how can I find my location somewhere, someplace, in time, in space? But that's exactly how I'm living. Where do I live? This address. When I was born, time. This, and my whole astrological chart is according to that. Concretized that I was born. Yesterday's topic. I've got no time for all these things. It's fascinating, but no time for all this. Talk about others, never talk about yourself. But if you talk about yourself, others, then it will come somewhere, someday you will think, oh, I must also check, how long I'm going to live. Have my lines changed? Oh my God, I'm dying next moment. So, what is the position of ocean? It knows the birth and death of all the waves. The waves that has gone by, the waves that are present at the moment, and all the waves that are going to come, because all of them is nothing but the ocean. And Arjuna is that one single wave who's fighting with other waves. He doesn't know what the ocean is. Therefore, he is Shishyasteham Shadhimam Prapannam. As an individual, we are it's the most pathetic existence. Most pathetic. Animals are better than us because they got no confusion. They live on instincts. Human being, free will. Confused all the time. Ye khaun ke wo khaun. Should I chant this mantra or that mantra? Should I practice bhakti or gyan? Should I do meditate or not meditate? Should I whatever, goes on and on and on and on. And then they say, all these thoughts coming is Lord's will. अबे बेवकूफ है क्या यार? Are we stupid? I'm just voicing it out. See? So, what is, if it is Lord's, I'm not going into that Lord's will business. If it is the total consciousness or the ocean of consciousness, then past, present and future is crystal clear. Not individually. Remember this. Ocean does not know every wave individually. It knows the principle. And what is the principle?
They are in me.
They are in me. I am in them. Neither they are in me nor I am in them. Yet I am supporting them and I am transcendental to them. Verse 4 and 5 of 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the understanding of the ocean? What we just studied in this verse till now, that is at individual level you have to understand. You will come to the disposition of the ocean. Because you will come to the ocean of consciousness. You are seeing everything as it is. When we are studying Kathopanishad, what did we tell the first thing? That death is not an event. Death is a principle. And it's happening every moment. When you are aware that every moment everything is dying, then once you accept that, where's the question of waiting for that event when I stop breathing and the body dies? No, not body dies, I die. You will not wait because your focus is on the principle. So expand your thinking. Expansion of thinking is only possible when you become single-pointed in your thinking on something higher. So, let us develop the technique by which the attention will only be on the Shuddha Chaitanya, the pure consciousness, ignoring all the other experiences which come and go. We'll talk about, so we have already talked about it, but now we'll see where the discussion goes with Swamiji in our next class. So total dissection. You are in a lab called mind. No, there should be no ambiguity as to who you are.
Then every moment.
Every moment, yes, not Sunday to Sunday. Every moment. And every moment it cannot be, you should not think that, oh my God, I forgot the consciousness. No, you don't think that way also. Every moment, your attention, your senses are open, your mind is open, some stimuli is coming, some thought is coming, some thoughts of past are coming, some thoughts of future are coming. Whatever data is coming, you cannot stop it from coming. Do you convert that data into concretization of individuality, or do you take that data and come to the principle and see that without the substratum this is not possible? Immediately the data dissolves. It loses its impact. Today's meditation was about that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.